There is a tournament that happens once every 4 years. Not every 3, not every 2, 4. Exactly 4. And if you ask most people why, they'll say something like, it's tradition, or that's just how it works, which is not an answer. That's a shrug with words around it. The real reason the World Cup runs on a 4-year clock is stranger, more political, and more fragile than anyone admits. And once you understand it, you'll realize the 4 years aren't protecting the tournament. They are the tournament. Let's start with what the World Cup actually is, because most people think of it as an event, a month of matches, a trophy at the end. It's not. The World Cup is a cycle. Think of it like a heartbeat. The tournament you watch in June is just the moment the heart beats. Everything else, the 3.5 years of qualifying matches, political negotiations, stadium construction, and national team assembly that happens before it, that's the heart doing its actual work. 4 years is how long the heart needs between beats. Try to speed it up, and the whole system fails. Here's where it gets interesting. The 4-year rhythm wasn't designed for the World Cup. It was borrowed. When Jules Rimet, a French lawyer and FIFA president, proposed the first World Cup in 1928, soccer already had an international tournament, the Olympics. Football had been part of the Summer Games for decades. Rimet didn't want to compete with that. He wanted to exist alongside it. So when he scheduled the first World Cup for 1930, he placed it exactly midway between the 1928 Olympics in Amsterdam and the 1932 Olympics in Los Angeles. 2 years after one, 2 years before the next. The 4-year cycle wasn't a plan, it was a gap, and it became permanent. That first tournament, by the way, nearly didn't happen. 13 nations showed up in Montevideo, Uruguay, in July 1930. 13. 7 from South America, 4 from Europe, 2 from North America. Most of Europe refused to make the 2-week boat journey. The ones who came only did so because Uruguay, the reigning Olympic football champion, offered to pay everyone's travel costs. FIFA's grand vision for a global tournament opened with a guest list that looked like a dinner party that almost got canceled. Uruguay won, declared a national holiday. The World Cup was a success, and so the question of when to do it again became suddenly very real. The answer, again, was borrowed. The Olympics ran on 4 years. FIFA ran on 4 years. There was no deep philosophy behind it. There was a calendar, and the calendar had a slot, and the slot was 4 years. And nobody had a better idea. But here's the complication. The 4-year cycle isn't just a schedule, it's load-bearing. Pull it out and everything falls. Consider what actually has to happen between World Cups. FIFA has 211 member associations, more than the United Nations has member states, which is a fact that should make you pause for a moment. Every one of those countries has to play a qualification series against its regional rivals. Home matches, away matches, playoffs, tiebreakers. The qualification process for the 2026 World Cup started in 2023 and runs until early 2026. That's nearly 3 years of matches just to decide who gets to show up. Compress that into 2 years, and something breaks. Expand it beyond 4, and you lose the athletes. A player who qualifies at 22 might be retired by the time the tournament arrives. This is the point where the 4 years stop feeling arbitrary and start feeling inevitable. If you already have a headache from thinking about logistics, the like button is right there. It won't simplify the qualification structure, but it'll make me feel better about explaining it. The comment question for this video: if the World Cup happened every 2 years, would you actually watch it more or would it matter less? Drop your answer below. I genuinely want to know. And if nobody has ever explained soccer to you this clearly before, which statistically they haven't, the subscribe button is how you get more of this. Now, FIFA did try to change the cycle. In 2021, with former Arsenal manager Arsene Wenger leading the proposal, FIFA floated the idea of a World Cup every 2 years. The argument was money, more tournaments meant more revenue, more of which could flow to smaller football federations in Africa and Asia. The counter-argument came from essentially everyone else. UEFA threatened a boycott. South America's governing body said its members simply would not participate. The Global Players Union said the vast majority of professional players opposed it. The International Olympic Committee said it would cause immeasurable damage to world sport. The proposal was shelved. The 4-year clock survived. What that fight revealed is that the 4 years aren't just logistical, they're psychological. The rarity is the product. A World Cup that happens every 2 years is a World Cup that matters half as much. You know this intuitively. You feel it. The thing that makes every World Cup feel like the world stopping is exactly the fact that you waited 4 years for it, that a child who watched the last one is now a teenager, that players who were teenagers are now veterans, that the world has changed, and somehow the tournament holds all of that weight. Rimet borrowed a rhythm from the Olympics. He never explained it. Nobody voted on it. It just became the cycle the world organized itself around. And now it turns out that 4 years isn't just how long the World Cup takes to prepare. It's how long it takes to mean something. The heartbeat metaphor that opened this video, here's the verdict. You can't make a heartbeat faster and expect it to last longer. The 4 years aren't a wait. They're the point.